Foxxyboi TV presents the Late Night Foxy Show with Foxxyboi.
Hello, welcome back to the Late Night Foxy Show with your host, me, Foxxyboi. Tonight we have a very special guest. Tonight we're going to have a little chat with our good friend, Mikasa. Mikasa, say hello.
Hi, Foxxyboi. It's great to be here.
I'm super glad to have you here. As everybody knows, you just hit 1,000 subscribers. How does that feel?
It's incredibly surprising. I never expected to get 1,000 subscribers at all. But it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Well, that's great. Remind me, when did you start doing YouTube?
I started back in January of this year. It would have been
January.
Yeah, I think late January was like number one.
Okay, so what is that? 8 months? Less? A little more?
About 7 months, I think.
7 months, and you've made it to 1,000 subscribers in that time. You know, there's lots of young YouTubers out there that, been doing the game for much longer than you have and are still well under 1,000 subscribers. You should feel really special. I mean, that's an accomplishment.
I sort of do. It's really surprising because, I just started messing around and it's I don't know why people decided to actually like my past.
Why did you start doing YouTube? I mean, I guess that should be our real first question of this particular interview is why did you start doing YouTube?
I think it was mostly because of being stuck inside with all the coronavirus and COVID stuff going on. And it's I needed an escape and something to do. It was doing YouTube videos sort of looked like a fun thing to do, so I went, I'll give that a try and see how it goes.
Right, so I think some of your first videos were of you playing Beat Saber, but within the first, second, or third video, you did an Omegle video. Omegle? How do you pronounce it?
I pronounce it Omegle, or Omegle. How do I pronounce it? I fucking don't know anymore.
I
don't know anymore.
I don't know either. I think
Omegle.
Omegle. Okay, we'll say Omegle from here on out. So, why did you start doing Omegle videos?
Mostly because of seeing other people do it online in YouTube's, and it was I saw them and went, oh, that looks like fun to do. So it was I think I know how to do that. So I basically went and did that initially, with a quick short test, and then went, okay, this is fun, and started doing proper videos.
Right, because you started at 0, and then you did another furry does Omegle 0. Why 0, not 1?
Because I didn't know if I was ever going to do another one. So it was the pilot episode. So it was literally me just doing a rough test, and also starting at 0 is a dumb thing to do. One feels like a commitment.
One does feel like a commitment, yes. I do understand that completely. So part of this interview process that we're going to do this evening is that some of your subscribers have asked you a couple of questions via your YouTube comments page or otherwise, and I've kind of collected them into a little list. So I'm going to ask you a few questions from your audience, if that's all right with you.
Go for it. That's what we're here for.
All right. Well, so since we've been talking about Omegle, I guess my first question, or not my first question, a Mr. Andrew Moore asks, what was your most embarrassing moment on Omegle?
I think my most embarrassing moment would have been the episode where I got so incredibly drunk and it was so incredibly late that I just passed out of sleep whilst recording the Omegle. So it's like I was asleep for a good 2 to 3 hours while still recording and having people just see me snore my ass off.
Well, and were these people like, "Hey, get up," or what? What were the responses?
Well, basically, yeah, it was like people going, "Hey, are you asleep? Wake up! You okay? Are you okay?" And I used some of that in the video, but it was mostly people just going, "Yo, this dude's dead. He's not with it anymore." And I was snoring.
And you were snoring. You have a very distinct snore, if I'm not mistaken.
Apparently so, yes.
For the most part of your first, maybe I want to say 10 or so Omegle videos, it was all just you, but one time you brought in some otters on your Omegle video, and then subsequently have brought in lots and lots of friends. How have you gotten those friends involved in your Omegle videos?
Well, the otters initially, that was a drunken spur of the moment thing, where it was literally like 2 a.m. and we'd all been drinking, and they sort of knew that I'd been doing the Omegles, and the conversation, "Do you want to do one right now?" And they went, "Yeah, let's do one right now." And so we did that one. And then getting friends on board was basically them just asking, "Yo, can I be in your videos?" And my response is generally, yeah. It's like any of the friends that wanted to join in for a video was more than welcome to join in.
I've already asked, why did you start doing YouTube? But one of your viewers, Mr. and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this correctly, Mr. Gangster Waffle 78 asks, why did you choose to do vrchat and Omegle over other things? What were those reasonings behind vrchat and Omegle?
Well, initially the thing was seeing other people on YouTube do it, and I thought, I think I can figure out how to do that. And like the edit process looked reasonably easy when I started out, and ultimately I'm a lazy person. So if I can do a lazy edit, I'll do a lazy edit.
How long are you recording an Omegle video, and then what is the usual output of that? Are you recording 4 hours of Omegle video to get 5 minutes of usable footage? What's that process like?
Yeah, it's normally around about 3 hours or so, and that's then around about a half-hour video. So it's 10 minutes or so per hour of usable footage. There's a lot of stuff that just gets dumped. Typically,
you use this particular character that you are currently in on Omegle. Am I right to assume that, and I know this is going to sound like a very interesting question, you are a furry, correct?
That is correct, yes.
So this leads me into my next question by a user called Amblypuff. They ask, when did you realize you were a furry?
I realized I was a furry in the early to mid 90s, basically when I started university. So 93, 94 was when I found out that I was a furry, because that's when I found out what a furry was.
A second part of this question from another user named Hanerl, I'm going to say. So what events, shows, or characters influenced you the most to become part of the fandom? Or perhaps maybe even a sum-up question from a user named Como65. How did you find the fandom?
Okay, well, the first part is like, I grew up on things like Warner Brothers cartoons. There was Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and all that stuff. It was like major influence. The Muppet Show was definitely up there, and of course Disney movies as well. I found the furry fandom via the internet when I started uni. So there was, back in the early days, there was a thing called news groups. They're not so much of a thing now beyond doing not so legal things, but before they were just discussion boards. You right with your coffee?
It's fine. It's fine.
Before they were just regular discussion boards where you just talk about things, and one of those discussion boards was called Alt Fan Furry. And that's where it was like, oh, there's people like me that like these things. And I started talking to those people, and it was like, oh, these are people that I can hang out with and have conversations about common interests.
Our next question comes from a Funtime EXC. They ask, what other species do you like in VR chat? Would you have your avatar as something else besides a Rexoium, if I'm pronouncing that correctly?
Well, when the first character I had in VR chat was an otter. So there's always a soft spot for the otters. There always will be. They're horrendously cute and annoying. I like the Ordeer made by the same person. I also like the recently added Nadoragon, which is becoming quite popular. Would I have myself as anything else as this? Probably not. I definitely now feel that this is the thing I'm most comfortable being in VR chat.
I know not a lot of people have seen you in the VR chat space, but I certainly have. And with every character that you've chosen, you choose a gray-black pattern, typically just mostly gray. Why is that?
Mostly because of my persona, which is a grey raccoon. So it's like, they're the colours which are my persona. So that's just followed through into VR chat, and which I've then kept using as the constant tone.
I have another question from a Ben Kimber. They ask, what VR headset and controllers are you using?
So I'm using a Vive Cosmos Elite headset, and I'm using Index controllers, and I'm using Vive body trackers.
Now, some users on VR chat start on desktop mode, then kind of graduate to a headset, controllers, and then maybe full body down the line. Was that the same for you? How did you come upon this platform?
Basically, yes. I started in desktop, but I didn't play desktop that much. It was literally 2 years of playing VR chat and maybe playing a grand total of 20 hours in desktop. And then it was like, I then got the VR headset, and that completely changed the story. Where it was 2 years, maybe 20 hours. Now it's been 9 months with a VR headset and over 1,000 hours.
So, in the VR landscape, are you primarily playing VR chat?
Mostly VR chat, yes, and I occasionally play Beat Saber as well. And I played little bits and pieces, a little bit of Pavlov, a little bit of Super Hot, but it's 99.73% VR chat.
I understand. I probably could say the same for myself as well. Which leads me to my next question from a Mr. Brandon Croker. Seeing as you've been on VR chat for quite a long time, Brandon asks, do you have any favorite worlds in VR chat? And as a follow-up, if you could design your own world, what would your world be like?
I like worlds that have scale in VR. So it's like you get to experience things being big. And one of those it's called Interplanetary Cruise Ship. And it's basically this huge space station in the sky. And it's just massive in scale when you're inside it. For my own worlds, it's VR chat, everyone loves a mirror. So if I was to make a world, I would make a world where it looks like there's lots of mirrors, none of them work. Just in this long hallway of mirror, 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 until you reach the end, and then there's a tiny little mirror. And you can press a button underneath, and it actually shows a mirror, but it's completely unusable.
We are in VR chat. We are experiencing a new world that, many people could have only dreamed of. And what do we do in the meantime? We stare in a mirror at our characters instead of talking to the people in front of us. Well, yes, that's a bit of a political opinion. Am I right, folks? Cue laugh track. Cue laugh track. Laugh track. Okay, so another question is from Obi de Wiener. They ask, what size shoe do you wear?
I wear a size 13 shoe.
He has three questions. That was his first. The second one was, how do I file my taxes?
I don't know how you file your taxes. That's between you and whatever God you happen to believe in.
Now that's a political opinion. All right, cue laugh track. Cue it. Why won't you? I'm going to fire our stage director. The last question from our Mr. Obi de Wiener. Why is your closet so small? Now, this may seem completely off topic, but, 10 years ago, we had a bit of a shared culture. We all kind of watched the same TV. We all kind of knew the same music, so on and so forth. But with the advent of the internet, everybody's able to kind of go off into their own circles and interest groups. In the furry community, which is a shared community, what circles of interests have you been introduced to that you would have never found on your own?
Probably the main one there would be fur sitting. Like, there's no way you'd get any interest of anything like that, of having a costume of that nature without being introduced into the furry fandom. It's something that, outside of the cosplay, which is more of a you dressing up as someone else's character, this is you dressing up as your character. And that's something very sort of specific to the fandom, which I don't think you would have found anywhere else.
A anonymous question from your user base has asked, how and when did you meet me, Foxxyboi?
From memory, it was in the public hotel virtual VR room that everyone sort of went to.
Oh, the virtual fur-ends. The virtual fur-ends.
Yes, that one. I'm pretty sure we met there originally. I was just there hanging out, not meeting people and being awkward. And then you popped up and a bunch of otters popped up. And I think then we just all started chatting. And I think that's where it sort of began, from my memory.
All right, so we've been doing this for quite some time, and I have one final question. But before my final questions, maybe one, maybe two, is there anything that you want to say that you haven't said yet?
Well, the main one I would like to say is I'd like to thank everyone who's watched the video, subscribed to the videos, participated in the videos, and just generally enjoyed them. It's like, when I started, I did not expect any of this to actually do what it did. And it sort of, probably the reason why I keep doing them is because I'm enjoying doing them with the people I do them with and getting the reactions that I do from people that watch them.
So, what's next? Is there anything exciting happening in the future? Are you going to branch out? What's next, Mikasa?
Well, definitely more Omegles. I'm thinking of branching out and doing some other things, but I'm not going to commit to what they are yet. When they happen, if they happen, that's when you'll know. But there are things happening in what may or may not be considered a brain, or just a vacuum.
That sucks. Cue laugh track, cue laugh track, cue laugh track. Okay, good. If there was one thing you could tell any aspiring YouTubers out there, what would it be?
Just do it. Just post whatever you want. Just go out and enjoy yourself. Don't get too bogged down in page impressions or subs or whatever. It's just make the thing that you enjoy making and make it.
Okay, Mikasa. This has been a wonderful interview. I'm just so excited that you have reached 1,000 subscribers. I know in comparison to all the great YouTubers, it's nothing, but it is something. It is an amazing feat, and the fact that you did it so quickly, and you have a wonderful selection of videos that are not just low effort content, they are good content, and I'm really excited to watch every video. I anxiously wait for the next video to release. I'm excited to be a part of your videos. I think what you're doing on YouTube is exciting and it's fun, and I'm really glad that I get to be a part of it in any shape, way, or form, whether by being in it, watching it, or just hearing about your success. I wish the utmost best for you in your YouTube career or whatever you choose to do in the future. I think you've got a lot going on, and I'm really excited to have talked to you this evening.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say so.
Thank you so much, Mikasa. All right. Tune in next time, and we'll talk to you again when he reaches 2,000 subscribers, or perhaps 5, maybe even 10. Perhaps we'll even talk to you when you are at 100,000. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 1,000 subscribers special of Mikasa. We'll see you later. Wave to the camera. Goodbye.
The Late Night Foxy Show with Foxxyboi is a production of Foxxyboi TV.